It's snottier than ever. All right, here we are. Oh, I'm quite famished. What a long journey to the county. Mm, delicious. All right, first things first, let me go ahead and just get it out of the way. Telegrams. What is the business? Santino Poker. Oh, that is correct. I was supposed to be at that damn event. I really do hope that Douglas and somebody else in our stay made it there. That's the hope. Now, Alice Green. Oh, God, what now? Hello, Cross. I wanted to pass you the info the law has collected from on Green. Oh, really? Isn't that resourceful? It concluded old telegrams that were passed to him about out of the state while he had me watching you. Excuse me? I know they are hot to get you, and I wanted you to have this information that they took from me. I didn't pass it with ill intent, but like everything else right now, it could be used against you, so I wanted you to have a copy. Very interesting. Please see attached telegrams. We'll see you the best. Friend, yes. The rest of the stack of telegrams from Alice, yes? Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. The 10th of December, 1899, and I have tracked him to a place called Saint's Crossing. I have only been in town a few days, and have already heard many stories of his activities. It seems he has many enemies here, as he does friends. He also seems to be embracing more of his evil side. Not sure the full story yet, but I have heard he was responsible for blowing up the sheriff's station. Somehow it was known I had a relation to him by a person here, so I'll be sitting back and watching from the shadows for now. December 17th. I've kept to the shadows, and he has heard I am around. He has actually not seen me as of yet. He is definitely up to his usual schemes. Not many trust him, but many seem to go along willingly, knowing that he might be out of luck with their money around him. He doesn't seem to have much riches, despite his public claims otherwise. He is dressing quite dapper, though. Indeed. Which helps sell his image and scheme. You got me all figured out, don't you, Alice? I have made contact with a few that he trusts. Oh, look at this little devil, just gathering what I can. For who? I'm fully dived into the doctor position here. It will line me up with the best position to gather information from the shadows, and I am not immune to a crazy life, but it is definitely interesting here. He has managed a few events here for the community. It definitely has his name out there. I have managed to acquaint myself with a few of his business partners, and still not much on his finances at this point. We'll continue to watch and listen. Well, the year's ending, and he still seems to have his head up his ass blowing his own smoke. I cannot find any money, not even someone else is holding it for him. She was looking for my money. He has done time previously, and I know that put him in debt with the local government. Perhaps that is where it is all going at this point. I am very solidified as a doctor at this point. It is proving to be the perfect vantage point to watch him from afar. I have not contacted him in person, but a very few select people know me as his ex-wife, seeing what info this may bring. He is busy trying to come up with his next big money-making scheme. I have gathered that he doesn't have any money at this point. What was this? First off, why is he assuming my bank account? all right? I've gotten smart, all right? Through the years, there has been many travesties via my bank account and my finances, but come on. What the hell? Gotten to know. So as soon as he gets in, he goes right back out the door. I have gotten to know many, many more people, and I am beginning to feel more comfortable watching in the light. I will begin to see how he can infiltrate and gather more info. He is in the works of another community event, working closely with two trusted people that like him but don't trust him in his money-wise. I'll be watching to see how he acquires the money and how much it is. Speaking of Strawberry Fest, be the amount that you would be satisfied with. Asking the amount, you are right, it doesn't matter the amount. I know currently he has nothing, and he is behind on making collections for the event. He has found a way to ask me for money. In order to keep things moving, I have offered him $1,000. I am going to try to give this to him, to a business associate of his, a friend of mine. She must be speaking of Strawberry Fest for sure. I don't know who this friend of yours was. Never received it. The associate was not very happy about the money going to Mr. Cross and has decided to hold it for the event and give it to another partners instead. Admirable towards me. That makes sense. But this would cause problems with Cross. He is an image person, after all. Not wrong. Faithful to it. And if he thinks this is in question, we all well know he could react in many different fashions. Trying to convince this friend to give him the money will let you know how it goes. And this festival was pushed back, and Mr. Cross will not be getting the money because he should not have the time to make the money on his own. And confirmed overheard information with his money issue that Mr. Jimmy does work for Cross in his own business is great, but a second to what he does for him will be trying to understand this relationship and how deep it goes. Obviously, there is financial distrust towards Cross. I don't think that Mr. Cross is still getting any further with making the money. He has begun some endeavors that, if he shows up and executes properly, he could be fruitful to him. Also seems to be some buzz around him, looking to hurt a few people, trying to gather names of these people in this organization society. Seems to have a few divisions of people. Plenty of people are willing to open their mouths wide, reading between the lines, and hints becomes real easy. And then they show the truth so quickly when you toss it back at them. Jimmy seems to be a part of their strength and security division, and has at least one under him, and is finding another. I'm guessing 3 to 4 other divisions, but no confirmations yet. Alice, you dirty, dirty little snake. Rode with Jimmy to get an herb from a man in a swamp for my boss. Not confirmed, but I think my boss is in with the organization, society. She does not seem to have a criminal intent, but the herb we got, I believe, was used on a man that met, and friends found running at us bloody, beaten, and dehydrated. Oh boy. Curtis. He told me that the masked men did it to them, that they would finish the job if he had told anything. I don't think she was present for any of this, and I will try to see what her tie is to this if I can. Many people tolerate Mr. Cross, but do not have a high trust in him, financially speaking. Blah, 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 my money, blah. Which isn't surprising, since that is how I got into this space to begin with. Yes, Alice, I'm sorry. Sorry that my selfless action got you hurt. It's too bad. Wrong place, wrong time. My boss is a person from Mr. Cross's organization, such society, and I don't believe her life partner would let her enter into something like this alone, so I'm willing to say that he's a part of it as well. And I've gathered this info by listening and watching. Mr. Cross seems to be back working with a certain group as well, and I'm going to approach my boss about myself working for them, as I've been dating one of them, and know they may need a doctor on their hand at times as well. I have no plans to get into their business, but I might gather a thing or two more about Mr. Cross, just by listening to others and watching. This group has an equal air of respect and fear about them, and I respect them greatly, which is why I must see what Mr. Cross is really up to these days. So my boss agreed that I could work for this group, and I was honest and told her it was because I wanted to gather more information on Mr. Cross. I also exploited the fact that it might help her understand Cross's relations with this group better. I have no plans to get involved in their business still. My info will be gathered by just paying attention to the others. Many people like to give warnings about what people are up to when they think that they are hanging around certain people, and I've been warned away from this group, but if I'm honest, they are probably some of the most honest people I have met on my journey. Yes, the DiCenzo's. They can grow on you fast. Not saying that they are angels by any means, you might actually get along with them quite as well. They are smart about their business. Perhaps they will help Mr. Cross get to where he needs to be. Dynamite business is dying down, and as of most of how to make it on their own. Moonshining is picking up, though, and Mr. Wyeth at the general store has a big mouth who is purchasing large amounts of sugar, which means he is known for being needed in moonshine. Also know that the fellow doctor was given permission to make it legally for medicine use. Or medicinal use. Looks like Mr. Cross is interested in this endeavor as well. He's trying to figure out how to make it or who makes it. He has let his other endeavors fall wayside like usual, which is a shame because they would have been more profitable if he put more into it. Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to make such an observation? He is currently looking at the past associate that wronged him. The irony of it is quite hilarious to me. Well, he has definitely decided to try for moonshining. Let's see if he works with his mouth or his hands. So far, it's only been lip service from what I've gathered. There has been another business partner introduced into the mix. If he works this out properly, it could really be lucrative. My guess is, though, he will end up having to get his hands dirty to really get it going. Otherwise, he will be run over. Business partners don't seem to play with empty promises anymore. In the next week, if his cards have been played right, he should be sitting on $5,000. And then perhaps we can be done. Alice knows about the VPS. I don't know how the hell she knows about the pillar system or anything of the sort. Jimmy must have opened up his large mouth. And now I'm here to pay the price. Or should I say somebody else has to? Which is a damn shame. Who the hell were these letters for? Who the hell did these damn letters go to? I wanted to pass you info the law has collected from on Green. It included old telegrams that were passed to him out of state while he had me watching you. I know they are hot to get you, and I wanted you to have the information that they took from me. I didn't pass it with ill intent, but like everything else right now, it would be used against you. Those telegrams were given to the law? You're telling me those damn telegrams were given to the law? The law knows. They know way more than they are supposed to. My future solely depends on the discretion of my actions, and I, albeit, have done a decent job at keeping things secret. Things seem to always go ahead and slip my fingers. Alice, working for Mr. Green. I don't care what that man took from you, you decided to betray. Whatever fraction of trust we would have left, I do not understand. Oh, no, wait, no, I understand. Push to the limit, brought to a certain side, but you decided to get close. You decided to push forward. You push ever forth into my lines. And you decided to define them as well. At least in your eyes. Damn it, woman. I cannot believe. I. If the law knows anything about what is going on, they are going to retaliate. They have more upon everything when it comes to Jimmy's death, on top of everything else as well. Oh, dear God. Everything is in jeopardy. Depending on if the law decides to put two and two together, this woman has gone ahead. Why would you write any of these things down? Why would you document any of these for this man? Why would you work for Mr. Green? What sense does that go ahead and make? The man mutilated you, took things from you, and yet you're going to. What is this damn woman's telegram number? The law knew the foundation of my longevity. They knew about the moon shining, and everything about that as well, confirmed. With a lack of evidence other than seeing us doing it in the action of, they are well aware, and now even more drive and confirmation through these letters. I have been screwed, and it wasn't even by my damn own lack of discretion. Now I have to go ahead and act on something I really did not even want to consider. I'm going to kill my wife. 15 pages. And a whole lot of ink. Gone ahead and give it more ammunition to my, I would hate to call them enemies, but it almost wouldn't be correct. The opposition, which is now more well armed to go ahead and put myself and my organization behind bars. Not only for a little bit of food and beverage, but those who are near and dear to the foundation of my future, the longevity of what I could go ahead and provide to this good world. Having somebody as dangerous as Alice around is careless for anybody to call to. Mr. Green, the DiCenzo's, I will tolerate. I refuse. I rebuke the thought. Instead, I will do what is necessary. What shall and should be done. Withhold the standard. Yes, Alice.
There's something in your throat.
What?
You sound like you may have swallowed a bee.
Oh, I hate bees. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Alice, it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. Don't mind me. I've just had a dreadful headache. Absolutely dreadful.
I'm sorry. Do you need some medicine?
No, no, no. I am in no need of your doctorial expertise. Understanding that is your newfound talent pool, which I must say is definitely one that is strenuous. On top of the fact there's also not of high demand, knowing that that type of title carries a lot of respect. So you have mine. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry.
I said thank you. I wasn't sure if you heard me.
No, 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 no. I'm not sure if I did. Regardless. So, I asked you to come out here because I received your telegram. Every bit of conversation that was had with Mr. Green, your occupation, if you would, with Mr. Green, understanding the circumstance prior. Those telegrams were very as silly as it may sound, informing, understanding your position. I want to discuss a few things with you.
Okay.
Mr. Green, he hired you. Or should I say, used you. Yes?
Definitely was a using. There was no hiring. Didn't get paid for it, except for with my life.
Indeed. And you are hired to come into the crossing, follow my loose breadcrumb trail, and try to find a
Yeah.
way to what, Alice? What was your conclusion?
I was supposed to follow you around, find out where you settled down, and give information for how you were making money and when you had enough money that he could strike.
So you are just a sweet scent luring me into a snake pit. Being used by Mr. Green, understanding that the way he comports himself, and the things that he did to you are borderline unforgivable. But you and your blatant betrayal of not only whatever fraction of trust that we had between one another, but for everything else. You do understand that those telegrams that you sent to me has things that are contributing to the very essence of my longevity inside the crossing. I'm an older man. I must say, you're nowhere near a fraction of my age, but I am trying to do my best to leave something on this earth so that when I become worm food, that there's something else that people can go ahead and spring off of. There's many things in motion. Crossco, starting your own business. I mean, beforehand, there, darling, I think very much you can remember that we were just scraping it by almost every single day, but we were dwelling in that fine vice grip of love that we had. But we were doing things to live every single day. I now can say that I have employees, a foundation. And then you, with your 15 pages and a little bit of ink, are going to be the decimation of all things. How could you, in a good conscience, do what you do, knowing what you had put in play, and got in with the DiCenzo's? And you're about to... How could you? How?
I did it for my life. He had me for days. You never once even had anybody check to make sure I was okay if you didn't want to do it yourself. He tortured me long and hard, and I was ready to give up. And he wouldn't let me. He still wanted to use me to get to you.
And
And
now
I wanted
look.
to die. And he said no. And I said, just let me die. And he said, no. You're going to go out there and you're going to find him and you're going to get my money. He sold one of my kidneys. He's added even more scars to me now because I was sending those telegrams. He was pacified. He wasn't moving. He moved because I stopped sending telegrams. I stopped sending telegrams because Jimmy did what he did, and I should have died that night. I tried to send the telegrams again when I could see. It was too late. He'd already came. Came to the crossing to find both of us. Originally, he was going to kill me, but then he said he wanted to take me as his trophy. Then it was back to killing me again.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have a heart, all right? At the end of the day, I feel dreadful that my actions led to the fact that you had to endure such hell, and then you had to dwell in it. That's something that I could not have got control because what I thought I was doing was absolving you of that punishment. But instead, that is not the cards that were dealt. I am not the dealer. I'm just simply someone who plays the same game. Here's what's dealt, Alice. The law has these papers. It does not just incriminate Roscoe. It not just does incriminate anyone else, the family, the familia, whatever have you. It incriminates everyone. Everyone that has ever done business with myself, or whatever have you. It puts Leo in jeopardy. It puts yourself in jeopardy. And I refuse to rot in a cell for some paper and a little bit of neglectful ink. You should have communicated. If anything, this could have been handled better, but instead, now we're forced to play this hand.
And what hand is that gonna be? I sent them to you so you'd be aware. I know what I did. I know the information I have. I know what's implied. So what's your move?
What's my move?
What do I do now?
You have the audacity to ask me what's my move. I have to adjust. I have to prepare myself for, unfortunately, the inevitable. I have to try to protect what I can, and I have to make sure that I preserve the very essence of my longevity. And that, my lady, that could be any obstacle I deem necessary. This right here, an obstacle. Something that I will have to go ahead and deal with. What you need to do, that's completely up to you. I know what needs to be done. Needs to be done. Alice.
Yes.
You see those mountains over there?
Yeah.
Good. They're beautiful.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite views.
Glad. It shall be your forever view. I know we never said it, but Miss Alice, till death do us part, and hopefully this will be a bridge to a whole new path.
Um,
Sleep, Alice. The forever sleep. You know, if I were reflecting on 5 years in the past, I would have never thought that I would be doing what I'm doing now. You forced me to play this hand. Everyone knows too much. Those who know too much information weigh down the ship. Loose lips, Alice. They sink ships. You decided to go ahead and tell your story differently, at least. I? But to make sure there is no way that those lips do the same travesties, indiscretions as those fingers. Open your mouth. Open your mouth, please.
huh? Huh? Huh?
This is payment. For all your sins. From those that nobody can go ahead and absolve you. What? A souvenir. No one ever said you were going to come to the crossing and not get one, right? Best of luck to your future endeavors, Miss Alice. Damn it. What's done is done. What she has got ahead and done will be a direct contribution to future. Still a necessity, not a want. Necessity.